Okay, so this is the second lesson on developing bass drum control and technique. If you haven't checked out the others in this series, then you'll find a list of those on my blog, and that's linked to, if you're watching this on YouTube, that's linked to in the video description below. I also recommend checking out the masterclass video I've got on bass drum technique, which is on my website, joecrabtree.com. And as I mentioned in the last video, these exercises, I'm just giving you one or two simple exercises per video, and I recommend investing a lot of time in these. The idea is not to just go, oh yeah, I can kind of do that, and then move on to the next thing. The idea is to work on these until they become as comfortable as anything else that you can do on the drums, so that you can do them without thinking about it and so that they're always accurate. Now, I haven't yet got them to that stage. I'm sharing with you the stuff that I'm working on at the moment. After playing drums for 20 years, I'm really trying to get my right foot to the stage where I'm very, very comfortable and confident playing, 3 or 4 notes in a row in the middle of a groove, and have it feel really solid. So, like I said, check out the other videos in this series first. In the last one, we just dealt with playing streams of constant 16th notes on the bass drum. In this lesson, I want to add the hands and perhaps the left foot to that thing, so that we're kind of also working on balance and other things. So I'm going to put the tempo at 75 BPM. I'm doing this in Polynome, which is an iPhone app. I've programmed in 3 bars of quarter note click and 1 bar of rest, which allows me to work on my timing with the click and also work on my timing when the click disappears and check that I'm not speeding up or slowing down. If you don't have an iPhone, I wrote another program called Pyramid, which you can get on my website. Again, the link is in the video description, and that basically lets you do the same stuff as Polynome but on a PC or a Mac. And it's a really useful way to practice. So I've got the click at 75 BPM. Same as the last lesson, I'm going to try and get this stream of 16th notes going on the bass drum, and then I'm going to add the hands over the top. So I'm going to start with just a kind of straight groove on the hi-hat and snare, and then I'm going to kind of fancy that groove up a little bit, play some kind of broken 16th note patterns on the hi-hat, maybe add some ghost notes, and I'll be focusing on how all those things line up and try and make sure that they fit together with the bass drum. Then I will work through some rudiments on the snare drum, so singles, doubles, paradiddles, maybe moving those around the toms. So that would be, those things would be good starting points and exercises on their own. So in fact, let me just do the first one, which is playing a groove over the top. So I'm going to start by getting the bass drum going, and then I'm going to add the hands. And I will be paying attention to if anything changes in as far as the bass drum and how that feels when I add the hands. So I'll put them in, take them out, put them in, take them out. And I'm paying attention to differences when I do that. Okay, so that was just a kind of a quarter note groove on the hi-hat. And this is also working on the previous video. Basically, you're keeping these constant 16th notes going. So it's working your right foot all the time. And you can do the same things, like about changing where your foot is on the pedal and changing the dynamic levels and focusing on those things while you've got the hands going as well. The next thing I'm going to do is make the groove with the hands a little bit more complicated. So I'll start off by playing the 8th notes on the hi-hat, and then I'll play some broken 16th patterns like 1 and a 2 and a 3, or 1E and 2E and 3E and then I'll add some ghost notes with the left hand. So these can be anything you want. The idea is just to start playing more 16th based patterns with the hands and focusing on how accurately they line up with the bass drum. So I was working through different things there, and I was noticing things like lots of flams when I was playing the backbeat between my kick and the snare. One kind of element of this exercise is that you're almost leading with the bass drum. That's playing the grid, and everything else is kind of on top of that, which is the opposite to the way that we normally do things. Usually it's kind of a right hand lead on the hi-hat, and the bass drum plays some of those notes. So again, I switched between different grooves there pretty quickly, and I would recommend sticking with each one for 10 minutes or so and really trying to nail it, and also going between playing the groove and not playing the groove, as in keeping just the bass drum by itself, so that you can feel how things change when you add the hands. The only reason I went through them quickly was to kind of demonstrate some of the things you could try. And what I might do in a practice session is play something. If it feels easy, then try something else and just search around for something that feels difficult and then work on that for a while. One of the other things I was aware of when I was playing that was the tension in my left leg, which is kind of working as an anchor. We're going to add some left foot hi-hat stuff at some point, so you don't want to be relying on this too much, because then when you go and do an open hi-hat, then that's going to throw your balance off. So let me play the last thing that I was doing there. The groove on the hands was 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 on the hi-hat, and the left hand was playing 1 E and 2 E, E and 2 E, 1 E and 2 E, da 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 da, which might be something that you've got to work on separately. You can play anything that you want with the hands. The idea is to have something consistent and put the bass, put this in and out over the top of the consistent bass drum. So let me demonstrate that. Don't know what happened at the end there. So yeah, again, just something that you can play. You can work on this for half an hour, just playing that one groove. And this is the kind of thing that will really make a difference. Not a lot of people do this, I don't think. I haven't really in the past. And these kind of exercises make a big difference, because it's the details of these grooves and things that make them really groovy. You can read something in a book and go, yeah, I can play that, and do it, but not do it very well. It's the accuracy of, you know, how all the limbs fall together and how much control you've got over those that's going to make all the difference. So work on that one, and the next lesson we're going to add some left foot to the mix.